It's Christmas Eve. And while this Christmas Eve is for many of us quite different from usual, it's also just the same. Because somehow, even without concerts and parties, even without big dinners to plan, without travel arrangements to be made, somehow there was still an awful lot to do to get ready for Christmas. But now the preparations have been prepared. The hard decisions have been made. And to quote a beloved nighttime prayer, what has been done has been done. What has not been done has not been done. Let it be. I love reaching this point each year. This point of let it be. It always feels a little miraculous getting here to this point of realizing that Christmas has come and that that's all ultimately that is needed. It always feels a little miraculous and yet also a little inevitable. And I think this is the ultimate source of my Advent hope. Christmas is inevitable, and it's not up to me. Because Christmas does not depend on my preparations. Christmas does not depend on the bounty on my table or under my tree or lighting up my house. Perhaps you've noticed this also, but I've been seeing a lot of Grinch-themed Christmas messages this year, more than usual, I think, which kind of makes sense. In his story, the Grinch learns that Christmas is about more than he thought it was as he steals the trappings, but can't steal the spirit of Christmas. And that's the lesson many of us are focusing on this year, reassuring ourselves and others that it is, in fact, still Christmas, even without all the things that we're used to. Except that in Dr. Seuss's story, the spirit of Christmas is revealed to be the togetherness of the community, gathered hand in hand, singing. And we aren't even allowed to do that this year. The COVID Grinch, it sometimes seems, has really managed to take it all. But here's the thing. Christmas does not even depend on the happiness or the health or the togetherness of my loved ones or of our community. And this is where the well-meaning secular world gets it wrong. All those lovely, heartfelt messages about the true meaning of Christmas being family or being community or peace on earth. And even as much as I appreciate the effort to separate Christmas from performative consumerism, none of that is actually what Christmas is about either, with all due respect to Cindy Lou Who and her friends down in Whoville. Christmas, it seems, is about just a little bit more. Christmas is about God. Christmas is about what God does, what God is preparing. Like Mary and Joseph, we just do our best to be ready to receive it when it comes, regardless of the circumstances. Like the shepherds, we are continually astounded when it does. Because it does come. Because God comes year after year and day after day and moment after moment, whether we're ready or not, whether we notice or not, whether we're willing or not. Christmas is inevitable, and it is not up to us. So the question perhaps is whether we are prepared to allow ourselves to hope that such good news could actually be true. whether we're willing to risk participating in such a Christmas, one that is entirely not up to us. This thread weaves through our Advent stories too. Each of the people we encountered over this past month, Hagar and Sarah, Miriam and Moses, Isaiah and Mary, their hope ultimately rested on their ability to trust God, to accept the inevitability of God's faithfulness, and to step into God's preparations for the salvation of the world. Christmas is about the salvation of the world. That rather puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Because no matter how delicious my Christmas dinner, or how beautiful my Christmas lights, or how adorable my Christmas photos, God does not need them to heal a brokenhearted world. What God needs, apparently, is to be with us, to be one with us. This is how salvation is accomplished. On Christmas, the eternal one, the almighty one, the source of all being, entered into creation as a human infant in order to live and die as one of us, revealing the sacredness of life by revealing the completeness of God's love. Every Christmas, we are invited to lay claim to this astonishing truth that asks nothing of us, but offers us everything. And so we continue our Advent journey of defiant hope, sustained by the knowledge that God is with us. More, that God is preparing salvation, wholeness and healing and fullness of life for all creation, and is inviting us into those preparations as beloved children who need simply to say yes. And so, my friends, what has been done has been done. What has not been done has not been done. What cannot be done cannot be done. Let it be. Christ is born in Bethlehem. Christ is born in our hearts, however burdened by sorrow or worry or exhaustion or bitterness they may be. Christmas is here because Christmas is inevitable. And so may you be filled with hope, even in the hardest of days. And may you be sustained by the knowledge that God is with us this night and every night.